Today on episode 162 of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, the TCF Sports Minute, Pool Party, Rank 'em, and a TCF Top 3 of Stand-Up Comedians. Let's roll. Hello and welcome back. This is episode 162 of Typical Chicago Fans, brought to you by our incredible sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. Make sure that you find us on Twitter at typical_Chicago. Head to Facebook and Instagram. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on both of those. If you want to see all of our content in video form, we are on YouTube. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. Hit the red subscribe button. We're also wherever you get your podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts. Subscribe, rate, and review. Wherever you get them, we are there. You can find me on Twitter at BoomyTCF. And, of course, the gentleman that I am joined with tonight at ZLiliaTCF. We got Zach in the house. Zach, we are making our return. It has been a little while, as most of you know. My son is like 10 weeks old now. High school basketball was going on in June. I coach high school basketball. It's been a very busy month. So we didn't have a ton of stuff going on, but we are back. A little bit more free time now. So it feels good to be back, man.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It was May 23rd was the last piece of content that we put out. But we're back. It is now July 6th as we record this. But the people have been wanting it, you know? It's all I ever hear all day, every day. It's like, Zach, you got to get back at the podcast. You got to get back at the podcast.
I know that the amount of Twitter mentions and all that, it was getting overwhelming. We had to come back.
Not true, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to say it's not true, okay? You didn't have to give away our secrets like that, pal.
We met also, Pat Beals.
Yeah, well, that's very fair. That is fair. I've seen Coach Beals in that time since we've been off, but no, it feels good to be back. Obviously, Maddie's not with us tonight. Maddie will be back here on the next episode, which we will make sure we get out here within the next week or so. But Zach, I mean, it's July in Illinois, baby. We're back to summer weather.
Maybe. I just went outside, and you could be wearing a sweatshirt right now if you went outside. It is chilly. But it is also because of the bad weather that we had last night. But it was before that. I think it would have been Wednesday morning. Holy cow! It was very hot, humid, gross. And at the end of the day, it was 70 degrees, which makes no sense.
Yeah, it's one of those where, like, I think Maddie always brings it up when we have like a mild December, and he's like, "Oh, that just means February is gonna, get us bad." That's kind of how I feel right now. Is like if June and July haven't been this bad, that means that August is gonna be brutal. And I feel for my son, because obviously, when you're going through, and my wife is expecting, she's like, "Oh, I'm just thankful I don't have to, be pregnant in the summer," because I couldn't imagine how brutal that would be, but. Dude, carrying this baby around, we get out and we go around and carry. He's not a small baby by any stretch. And we're both out there hot. I'm like, I don't know, man. This is not fun either. But what can you do?
Yeah, unfortunately, he's gonna be a little sweaty here throughout July, most of August, for most likely his whole life. So he'll just have to get used to that.
Yep, exactly. So, I mean, we live in Illinois. There's not a whole lot you can do.
And he's your son.
Yeah, exactly. We're complainers, okay? Just who we are. Let's go ahead and jump into things. As always, we've got sinkers and floaters. My sinker is Poopy Pants Dave Martinez. Davey Martinez is the coach of the Washington Nationals. And if you haven't noticed, he's got a big old dump in his pants because he kind of went after Ellie Delacour.
Very confusing. Like you checked his bag.
And they were factually inaccurate. Is the issue.
And what that is I don't know if that's just something that if it gets hit, it doesn't hurt as bad or something. It was like a plastic thing at the end of his bat.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see exactly what it says. That the Nats had Cincinnati's rookie phenom bat checked during the second inning as a tracking device was on it. Umpires told him to remove it despite it being legal. But then a couple innings, or his next at bat, he hit a ball 455 feet.
What would a tracking device even do to make you better?
Maybe he just doesn't want to lose it. I mean, there's nothing to it. And then that's fine, whatever. Like I don't necessarily blame Davey Martinez for wanting him to remove the tracking device or whatever. But then after the game, he says, I love the way he plays the game, but I didn't like his antics after he hit the home run. We can do without that. He's only got 2 weeks in the big leagues. That's also factually inaccurate. He's been in the league for like 6 weeks. He's going to be a good player. It's like,
he's also better than anyone on the Nationals.
Yeah, that's not saying a whole lot, but like,
no, but it's like, what are you talking about? It's okay to do that, whatever you want to make sure, but then when it comes to where he's hitting the home run, then you kind of just have to eat it. It's like, that's what's gonna happen. And also, he's throwing like 95 miles per hour across the field. He's like a third baseman who can take his time.
Yeah, the kid's a freak, and he's arguably one of the best young.
And also, this Reds team, what are they doing? They just keep winning.
Yeah, I mean,
getting annoying.
It is. I think it was a couple years ago. Remember when the Reds were like in the playoffs? I think it was like 2015, 2016 when the Reds were in the playoffs. Like that still doesn't feel right to me. The Reds should never be in the playoffs.
Is that when they had Cueto?
Is that what?
Is that when they had Cueto?
Yeah.
The pitcher? Is that his name?
Cueto? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Johnny Cueto.
And then he went to the Giants, I think.
Yeah, Johnny Cueto played for a lot.
They were like changing his name, and then he gives up a home run.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, Johnny Cueto. Better dog.
That was a wild card game or something like that. My stinker is Tom Brady. What are we doing, Tom Brady? We got to be better than this. You've won how many Super Bowls? You were married to a supermodel, and you're gonna go after Kim Kardashian. I don't know if the rumors are that they're dating. Tom, we gotta be better than this. I mean, Kim Kardashian, good looking lady, but I mean, all she does is ruin men.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I kind of disagree with you on this end because, I mean, the guy's like batting 1,000 for life now. I mean, she's also like the most recognized.
You can do better than Kim Kardashian, who's just, I understand, yeah, she's very good looking, but he could date anyone who's good looking.
Yeah, but it's also like, what does he have to lose now? He's done playing. He doesn't like have a career to end.
He still has like an outside life. He's gonna be on TV.
Dude, I think
he's gonna be in all those reality shows. That's not Tom Brady. That's not what he needs.
I mean, I disagree. I think this is a pro move. No, retire and then start dating arguably the most recognizable woman on the planet.
Okay, if it was like Joe Schmo, I would be like, okay, yeah, but it's Tom Brady.
That's fair. That's fair.
Have you seen what's Pete Davidson been doing since they were dating? She ruins men.
Yeah, I mean, but if he was still playing, then I'd be like, yeah, like you have a career. Like he doesn't have anything to worry about.
Life.
And he could just sit on his millions of dollars and his whatever 7 Super Bowl rings, and yeah, but like, how's she going to ruin that?
She'll find a way.
And if it doesn't work out, then he just goes home and still be's a millionaire and still is Tom Brady. I think this is a win-win.
That's not how this works with Kim Kardashian. She ruined men.
I think Tom's going to turn it around on from that. But
he's going to break the Madden curse.
We'll see. Yeah, break the Kardashian curse.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. All right. On the other hand, my floater is daddy daycare. My wife went back to work last week, about a week and a half ago now, almost 2 weeks now. So I am home with the boy from 8 till whenever she gets home. So we've just been hanging out. We've been watching a ton of baseball. I swear this kid has watched more baseball in the 10 weeks he's been alive than I probably did all last year. But
Do
burning
you have
through a
like
lot
the
of better.
MLB package or something?
So I what I do is I flip on like MLB Network. I don't have the package, but like MLB Network, if the Cubs aren't on, I'll just put on the regional coverage or whatever, and they bounce between games.
And even
But
that,
then
if
when he
they have
falls,
like a show going, they usually like show different parts of each game.
yeah, exactly. So that's been a lifesaver. When he goes to sleep, I've been putting on Better Call Saul. I've already burned through 3 seasons in like a week and a half.
I
So
loved
uh,
Breaking Bad, never watched Better Call Saul, and I think I want to get into it.
yeah, that's kind of where I was at, dude. I love Breaking Bad, one of my all-time favorite shows, and kind of one of those. I was just going through Netflix, and it was on my suggestion. I was like, you know what, love Breaking Bad, and I highly recommend Better Call Saul if you like Breaking Bad. It's really so. Bob Odenkirk's awesome, but yeah, baseball and Better Call Saul has been going on at our house, probably for about 8+ hours a day for the last 2.5 weeks ish.
Like yesterday, I think you just kind of wanted to get out of the house quickly because when you came to the golf course, and I think you knew we weren't going to be golfing. I think it was just one of those things you can like just you have to go away, be away from daddy daycare for a second, and then you have to come back.
Yep. God bless my wife. Since she's been back to work, I go on and off with working out. But this week, when she gets done with work, I go get my workout in. It's just been perfect to get that stuff done. I could probably take him downstairs. Like I have a little bit of gym equipment down there. I could probably go get a workout in, but I can let him be for a little bit enough to go get the laundry done or the dishes done, but it's perfect. Mom and him get to hang out for an hour or so, and I get to go get a workout in because I've been sitting at home eating snacks all day and watching baseball with him. So it's a solid trade off.
Like you said, once he can keep that head up by himself, maybe he can go golfing.
Oh yeah, I've got it saved in my Walmart shopping cart. The device I'm going to get that's like I saw some lady on TikTok had it, and as soon as he can start holding his head up for like an extended period of time, he can hold it up obviously, but not long enough. As soon as that happens, that's getting ordered, and we'll be at the golf course a lot.
Love that. Speaking of golf, that's my floater. That's all I've been doing pretty much the last few weeks because I live like 2 minutes away from the course. I got a membership, so if you just go out there, even if you just go 4 holes, doesn't really matter. It's not like you're losing out on having to pay for a whole round. So I mean, I wouldn't say I've gotten better, but it's just I enjoy just being out there. Something to do. You're not sitting
No,
at home.
you're being modest. You've definitely gotten better this year. You
Well, I would
played
hope. I mean,
so
you would
much
hope you would
golf.
get a little bit better, but we were talking. We had the Ivy Open coming up soon. I got some golf outings. My month of July and August are really filling up here with golf outings and weddings and bachelor parties. But yeah, golf is just fun because I mean you can do it with anybody really. It's not like you have to be great at it.
Yeah,
It's just something
it
fun to
is.
do. And if you don't do well, there's beer in the cart, so it's always enjoyable.
Can't beat that. That's kind of the
I said
one thing that
if you couldn't drink beer in golf, I would not do it.
No, I disagree.
It's just sometimes I'm not saying you do it every time, but sometimes you just need a beer.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I just try not to do it when I go out on weekdays, but you got to make exceptions every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm not saying every time, but it's a Saturday, you're playing with the boys, you're not doing very well, you go for that first beer, you feel better.
Yeah, I think Dog Walk had a draft of beers, and I think golf course beer was up there. I know beer at the turn was, but I definitely that first one, especially on some of these days we've had here recently, it goes a long way, doesn't it?
I was saying the 2 sports that I do now, if you call them sports, are bowling and golf, and you can drink beer doing both. So
Yeah, you're like 28 going on 62.
yeah, pretty much.
Let's go ahead and jump into the TCF Sports Minute. We'll lead off with the Cubs. Drop one on Thursday at Milwaukee, end up splitting the series. They are sitting at 40-46 on the year. They are 8 games out of first place. I'll be honest, kind of exactly where I anticipated them to be. 3 guys named to the All-Star team: Dansby Swanson, Justin Steele, and Marcus Stroman. So I don't know about you, Zach. This is kind of exactly what I was expecting out of the Chicago Cubs.
Me too, and I'm not expecting them to be sellers at the deadline either. I think they're going to stick with it. I don't really know. I mean, yeah, you look at it, they're 8 games out, but I just don't know. I just think that they're going to keep what they got unless they get rid of Stroman. I guess that's one of the guys that they're most likely, if they're going to trade anybody, it would be him. I don't really know if we have any relievers that you would want to get rid of. You want to keep Alzolay. You want to keep Steele.
Maybe Fulmer.
Cody Bellinger could be traded too. He's on a 1-year deal. He's playing pretty good. But other than that, it's not they have a ton of pieces that people are going to want that they would want to get rid of. Because even if you build, you're going to be selling, I guess. You wouldn't want to get rid of Steele because you got him for a while.
You can't get rid of Justin Steele.
He's your ace right now too, in the All-Star game. But
yeah,
I would love to see them keep Marcus Stroman. I think he's played very well, and I think he wants to be a Chicago Cub. But it doesn't seem like, as of right now, the Cubs think that way.
I mean, here's the way I look at it. I think that Marcus Stroman, I don't know where it sits on the timeline of the quote-unquote rebuild. Now, if you can get a decent enough package for him, I am all for shipping Marcus Stroman out. Now, like you said, Zach, though, the only other ones that I can see them like realistically being okay with moving is Cody Bellinger. Obviously, they've already gotten rid of Hosmer. That didn't work out. Maybe Mancini. I would doubt it. I just don't know the value there. Maybe on Gomes
for Trey Mancini right now. I mean, DH.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking of like the older guys in this.
Yeah, the guys who have and not very large contracts or like long contracts.
Maybe Fulmer, but
I mean Fulmer. I mean, who? I guess you could maybe get something for him, but I wouldn't think it'd be much.
But also, I think a lot of it, like you look at a guy like Mike Tauchman, right? He's probably at the highest value he's ever had, and if the Cubs feel that they're deep enough in development at center field or in the outfield, then they might be more inclined to move a guy like him. But
maybe not. I just don't know if the value is worth of doing it. But I guess for a guy like Tauchman, you go on, he's playing the best he may ever play and get what you can.
Yeah. Yep. And like I said, other than I think Bellinger is going to be the one, would be the first one I would kind of point to and say that he'd be the most likely to get moved, because that's kind of been the whole conversation of kind of why they signed him in the first place. Obviously, the Cubs didn't say that, but I could see Stroman just the way that these contract talks have gone on. It doesn't seem like the Cubs are super inclined to commit to him long term, and I get that. The Cubs are still not in a window where they're going to be competing for championships. They're not. And if that's going to be the case, then so be it. And, sell him for what you can get. I'm perfectly okay with that. I also think that it's a good spot for the Cubs to be in, right? It's not the year where they traded every big name away. And you're also not, if they were 46-40, would we be having a different conversation? Possibly. But even at 46-40, if this team was overachieving, this team is not good enough to win a championship, even if the record was reversed. Look at all the, the other powerhouses in the major league. So I wouldn't be crazy about them buying either.
Yeah, so the Cubs and the Sox are in the 2 worst divisions in baseball.
Yeah. Yep. So, and we'll get into the Sox here in just a second, but I kind of just wait and see what happens and what teams want to pay for guys like Stroman and Bellinger, and if they want to pay enough,
I wouldn't be surprised if they made trades, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they didn't. So, kind of all up in the air.
Exactly. The White Sox 37-51. They are playing right now.
Not up in the air for them.
Yeah, they are awful. They are 8 games out of first place. Robert was the only White Sox to make the All-Star game, and he's also
White Sox playing well.
Yeah, and competing in the home run derby. I mean, they're gonna have to be sellers, right?
Yeah, Giolito is probably gonna be traded. I don't know if you get. I don't think they would want to trade Dylan Cease, but if they're gonna be trading people, I don't know what they could be doing because. I mean, we go on Moncada, you would think they would try and trade. I mean, you
Yeah.
would think they would stick with. I mean, Robert's not going anywhere, and
No.
Eloy. I don't think there'd be value at this point right now.
No, I think those two pitchers are going to be the ones you see get moved, if anybody's getting moved, because, and obviously I think a lot of that goes back to what we were talking about with the Cubs. What's the return going to be? Because clearly this rebuild has not worked out for the White Sox. They have played in two playoff series and haven't won a game yet. Maybe one win.
The
So
Cubs
it's
aren't playing the greatest right now, and like we said, this is right around what they would think they'd be. And they have a better record than the White Sox. That's just embarrassing for the White Sox. And I'm not even saying that it's like, oh, I wanted the White Sox to be bad. That's just like you had expectations of World Series this year, going to the World Series at least, making it at least
for the last 3 years.
Yeah, at least making like the ALCS.
Mm-hmm. And you
And
haven't won a playoff game.
no, and you're not going to make the playoffs this year. And the best team in your division is 2 games above 500.
Yeah.
And you can't even win that division.
Yeah, this rebuild has been up until this point has been, I mean, an utter failure for the White Sox. There's no easy way around it.
No, and they're gonna have to make some trades that hopefully helps their farm. Was it farm league?
Farm system.
Farm league is that farm league is what you used to play when you were younger in baseball. I think maybe just Pawpaw had farm league. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say that wasn't a thing in Mendota, but
yeah, sounds like a thing where a lot of farming goes on. But yeah, I don't see what they could do. They're not gonna get better. They're not gonna get above 500. You'd have to go on a crazy run. So unfortunately, I think they're gonna be trading those two pitchers, and who knows what else at the deadline, and it's just gonna get worse.
Yep, it's going to get worse before it gets better. I don't know. The White Sox. I mean, we kind of crap on the White Sox when we can, but like this is just bad.
It's sad.
It is.
White Sox fans deserve better too.
I know someone that's usually on this podcast would very vehemently disagree with you. So we'll just leave it at that. Moving to another side of town, the Chicago Bulls. They have traded into the draft, picked Julian Phillips from Tennessee, 2nd round pick. We'll see what happens. You draft kind of
summer league. You have any idea?
The Bulls start summer league. I want to say it might be today or Saturday. I know it's coming up here. No, I mean they play like.
No, I mean any of the summer leagues.
Yeah, I'm not even a degenerate. There's nothing other than baseball. So yeah, I've had a lot of.
That's what I thought. I always enjoy because I'll be on vacation here soon, so I'm always like at home sometimes around this time with the summer league. And I love watching mid-afternoon. There's always games around noon, like 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Well, that's the best part is, yep, they play it in. Well, I know they're doing Vegas. Like games in Los Angeles or Sacramento. They did some games in Salt Lake City, but there's always games in the West Coast, and there's always games on the East Coast. So there's literally summer league games going on from like 10 a.m. until 11 p.m. So it's always a good one to just have on in the background.
Bulls news. But it is a summer league. Did you see that thing with Wembanyama and Britney Spears?
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I didn't see all the details.
Stories I've ever heard. I'm like, what?
And to be clear, it wasn't Victor Wembanyama. It was a member of his security team.
I understand that, but what a headline! It was Wembanyama and Britney Spears in the same headline.
Yeah, that would have.
We got to stop having summer league in Vegas.
Yeah, there's no way that's a good idea. Back to the Bulls, they re-sign Kobe White, Ao, Vooch picks up his extension, and Drummond picked up his. They picked up Javon Carter.
So average next year. Nothing about this team is going to be able to beat like the Bucks or the Celtics or the 76ers. What are we? I just don't understand what the move's going to be. I'm not.
Well, the problem is
I'm not mad
is
about
that they're just
you got
trash. Yeah, they're
Oh, yeah.
trapped in 3 contracts of aging
Then
NBA stars,
we
right?
could have had
Like,
a top 10 pick this, or it would have been 11th pick this year,
yeah.
but we made the Vucevic trade, and it's always something.
Going back to that trade at first, like I was kind of in that camp, but like back when they made that trade, I was perfectly okay with giving that pick
No.
up. So obviously now it looks bad,
Yeah, it
but
looks bad looking back at it. I guess in the moment it's hard to know what's going to happen because you're like, he's an all-star.
here's the problem that I think the Bulls face is that they need DeRozan to play the way he did in the first year that he was with the Bulls. Most likely not going to happen, right? He's 2 years older. It could happen. He's a very good player. Zach LaVine needs to play more similarly to the way
He's
he
got to
did
be
at
number
the
one.
end.
He has to be a number one.
He has to, and
You
he
have to
wasn't last year.
consistently play well throughout the season. You can't have games where it seems like you don't do very well and stuff like that. We need you every single night because if this Bulls team is going to be great, he's got to be amazing.
Well, and I don't want to start, burning this ship down already, but like let's look at the draft history of Karnisovas. Not great.
No, we were so
Patrick
happy that
Williams.
they got rid of the old regime that we're like, oh, this should be awesome. We got these new guys in there, and they haven't done that great. They talk a big game.
I mean, Patrick Williams. I mean, I'm still not a Patrick Williams fan. Marko Simonovic. I know he's a second round pick. Just got released today. It's
Patrick Williams.
Dalen Terry. Dalen Terry. What'd you say?
What was Patrick Williams? What was he picked at?
7th.
7th. And I mean, he has not played like a guy who is a top 10 draft pick.
I was promised a brand new Dennis Rodman with Patrick Williams, and that is not the case.
They used to call him the Paw. He was like a younger Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi, yeah. Now, in his defense, he is 21 years old. He will be 22 in August.
Wild.
I don't think. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't 7th overall pick. He was the 4th overall pick. But I just don't.
You just watch him play basketball, and he's a good player, but he just doesn't seem like he's super aggressive to the basket.
Yeah. And that's kind of what they need out of him. And it's just not that. Dalen Terry.
Joakim Noah, a guy who's going to jump on the floor for a loose ball or try to get every rebound and go to the basket. It's just like he shoots too many 3-pointers.
Yep. I mean, Dalen Terry bounced back between, the Windy City Bulls and the Bulls last year. And I know he's a rookie. I know he's 19, 20 years old. But, like, some of these draft picks have to start hitting. Yeah. Like, at some point.
Playing well early in their career. Like, DeSumo is playing well, but not like he wasn't where he should be at the end of last year.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of getting back to a phrase that I've used a lot is we are in basketball purgatory with the Bulls. And, it's at least on the other side of things at the United Center. The Blackhawks get Connor Bedard, as we kind of all knew. Matt called me an idiot the last time we did a podcast just for asking if there was anybody else that they could surprisingly take. Connor Bedard is a Blackhawk with that first pick. Zach, did you know that of the first 99 picks in the NHL draft, before the draft started, that the Blackhawks owned like 9 or 10 of those picks?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah. I didn't look at I'll pull it up here, but I remember seeing something on the day of the draft. Picks. Yes, they did. Obviously, taking Connor Bedard, you finally feel like we have a little bit of hope. It's been so bleak, for the Blackhawks here recently.
The guy who is supposed to be maybe one of the greatest of all time. I know he's young, but he's been labeled as maybe one of the greatest of all time. Like, what would you say, prospect? One of the best draft picks of all time. And the Blackhawks got him. And with a team that it looked pretty sad last year at the end, they got rid of Kane. I don't know if Taves is going to be back this year. I'm guessing he will be.
Well, I
Um,
have it pulled up here as of July 1st. Jonathan Tays became an unrestricted free agent.
yeah, so he may not be back with the Blackhawks, and it's like, and then you're like, oh man, this is gonna be sucky to watch or whatever, and then you get Bedard, and ticket sales go up, and everyone gets back excited again, and hopefully, it turns out to be what he's supposed to be, an amazing player. But it's just kind of nice to have a little bit of hope back with the Blackhawks. Like you said, especially with the Bulls not giving us much hope at all. It's nice to have at least just, even if it's false hope, it's excitement for now.
So I've got it pulled up here. Of the first 99 picks, the Blackhawks had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 picks.
Yeah, they
So
threw the
that's
first
always,
pitch at the Cubs game, and it was like a bunch of them. I'm like, holy cow.
yeah. My favorite, obviously Bedard, but my favorite pick, and I'm banking on this kid because I love his name. Fourth round pick number 99. The Blackhawks selected a man named Marcel Marcel. The man's so nice they named him twice. So, big
That'd be
fan of
awesome.
that. Yeah.
If you
Also,
know how to say your first name, you know how to spell your last name. So
parents kind of dummy proofed it there. Let's see. Then they picked up a couple other guys. I know they made some trades. I'm trying to find. I had it pulled up here. Taylor Hall was the big one. That's
the trade.
Yep. Traded, picked up Taylor.
He was a number one pick a few years ago, right?
I don't know if he was the number one pick, but I know he was like one of the points leaders in the NHL a couple of years back. So at least they're doing what they need to, and I think they brought in a couple enforcers to take care of Bedard. So at least positive
He's not
there.
Very big.
No, I mean, granted, he's 17. He's not going to be very big.
Well, no, but he's also like a Patrick Kane.
Yeah. Not a physical specimen just yet, but
he can shoot the puck.
That's all we need. Put the puck in the back of the net, kid. So at least there's some hope there on the Blackhawks front.
Even if you just want to live off the highlights that you get to watch from when he was, I don't know what league he was playing in, but for now, we got maybe the best player in the league.
Hopefully in a few years we could say that. So
for now we just say it.
We got the best prospect in the league. We can take that. I'm all right with that. But before we move on, a big shout out to our sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. They've got the best coffee around that you are going to find. They work with our guy, Dom Frederick, and of course, Ian Happ. So you know it's good quality stuff. Listen, Ian Happ the other day threw out 2 guys from left field. You want to know what he probably had for breakfast? A cup of Connect Roasters coffee. All right. Guy wins Gold Gloves.
The majors and international home runs.
That is true. His batting gloves are in the Hall of Fame, and he drinks Connect Roasters. So, if it's good enough for Ian Happ, it's good enough for you. So, go to connectroasters.com. Follow them on Twitter at Connect Roasters. They're growing every day. Great stuff coming out storefront in Bourbonnais. So make sure you check out connectroasters.com. Follow them on Twitter at Connect Roasters. Get you some of the coffee that can help you throw out guys from left field. All right.
Yeah, save the game for them. Unbelievable.
Yep. ConnectRoasters.com on Twitter at Connect Roasters. So a big shout out to our favorite coffee company, Connect Roasters Coffee. Zach, it is officially summer, as we talked about earlier. Nothing screams summer like a good pool party. So we have our pool party right here. You can only choose one from each row. So we're going to do a little snake style with just the 2 of us. We can only pick one from each row. Do you want to go first or do you want me to?
I'll go first. I'm going waterfall. Right. I think diving boards and slides are way overrated.
Wrong answer. Diving board is the clear winner here.
No. I guess I'm just not good at it, but I do not like a diving board.
All right, question. Can you do a front flip off of a diving board?
No.
Can you do a back flip off of a diving board?
I've never truly tried, but I don't think I can. I guess I maybe.
Well, maybe that's going to be our next TCF video. I can do both, surprisingly, for a man that's 6 foot and 250 pounds. It's not graceful, but it gets the job done.
I can try.
But I will agree with you. I think I would take waterfall over slide. As I describe my dimensions. Guys my size really don't belong on a slide. So, what's your row 2 pick gonna be?
Basketball hoop. That's so much fun. I mean, a
Yep.
floating golf green, but like there's really nowhere around a pool that you could really do that.
So the only thing about that is most of those that I've seen come with like a little like 12
Area
inch
you
by
gotta have that.
12
I
inch
see.
hitting pad. I would agree. I will take the floating golf green here just because you took to be
And I
different. But
also,
yeah,
I might sound like a psychopath, but I don't want to have like wet hands on my golf clubs. I feel like that would ruin the grip or something stupid like that, or you'd ruin a
yeah,
club
no,
getting
I
wet. I
I
don't want
feel
my
you
golf
there.
clubs near water.
And the big issue there, and that's what put basketball hoop over it, is that in order to use the floating golf green, you have to get out of the pool. Whereas a basketball hoop,
Oh yeah,
even the volleyball net, you can do inside the pool.
and a basketball
So
hoop is a workout.
oh yeah, do you remember some of those days at the Carroll's pool when we
Oh
would
my
have
goodness.
just knockdown, drag out like death matches,
You
like
get out of the pool and you'd
borderline
be so
drowning?
exhausted.
Oh
Exhausted.
yeah, absolutely. All right, row 3. I think this is an easy one.
I'm going raft.
Yeah, raft is easy one.
It's like a
I'll
tube,
take
like you're
two.
still kind of touching the water, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the tube. And then the noodle. What's the point of a noodle? What I don't even get that. Maybe if you want to like a backrest, but still, I feel like for a guy like me, that's just going down.
Yeah, yeah. No, raft is
And I'm
clear one.
not this raft. I need a sturdy raft. I don't need
I
one of
need
these.
ones with the arms,
Yeah,
right?
that kind of looks too small.
Yeah, I agree. You got to have the double layer with the armrest where, this part that they're showing here would be underwater, and then there's an armrest. So, I agree on that end. But I'd go tube if necessary. If we were at a pool and you stole
In
the
a
green
lazy
raft there,
river, that's fun to have like a tube.
yeah, I agree. I agree. It's a little versatile. You can sit,
But
sit in it, or you
the noodle can
can
go.
go. Yeah, noodle, burn the noodle. I don't care.
All that happens with that is like somebody whacks you with it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great. So, all right, row 4, we got torpedoes, splash balls, or beach balls. What are you going with here?
Beach ball. The splash balls. I don't really like playing games really in the pool, other than like basketball hoop and like the torpedo. I'm not diving under the water.
See, that's where we're different. Give me the torpedo all day. I'm diving in, seeing how long I can hold my breath. What you do is you turn one way and you have someone throw it, and you got to go underwater, open your eyes, and find the torpedo. I'd take torpedo all day here on row 4.
Little beach ball, you hit it around.
That gets
I'm
boring
trying to
after a while.
relax in the pool.
Yeah, but you got to have a little bit of fun.
Well, yeah, that's why I play basketball.
See, that's why I dive underwater.
I don't like having like, I guess my ears below the water. It's like they're like popping or something weird.
This goes back to my statement earlier. You're 28 going on 62.
I didn't argue with you.
That's all right. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Let's jump into our next segment. We've got a
Wait,
new
you want
series.
torpedo?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Torpedo. I'm taking all day.
I don't even know what the splash balls even were.
I don't really know. I can't exactly tell what those are, but like,
Maybe you trying to you throw some certain ball out there and then you try and get it closer. I don't know.
so I know that there's like these new things that are like reusable water balloons, and they have like magnets around the circle. So when you throw them, they break open, but you don't have to keep refilling. You just put them underwater and close them. So maybe they're kind of like that. So
Weird.
I played with a reusable water balloon the other day at with my nieces. So that was just kind of fun throwing it at people. But yeah, that's definitely third on the list for me.
I like my selections.
Same here. I like mine too. So let's jump into the next segment. We've got a new rank 'em. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to throw out 4 things, and we're going to rank them 1 to 4. 1 being what we think is either like the coolest or most important. So we're going to start, as Zach said, it's summertime. We play a lot of golf. So this is golf course accomplishments. So rank them 1 to 4. We've got breaking 80, a hole in one, an albatross, or a 300+ yard drive.
I'm going hole in one, number 1. I don't know if I should go from the other way, but and then breaking 80 would be 2.
Have you ever broken 80?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure no.
Okay.
I think my best is like an 83. Then I go Albatross and then 300 plus yard drive.
And I think this is very different for us because, like, we're not great golfers, but we hit the ball a long way, like 300
Well,
yards.
that too, but like I like a good drive, but I think the other ones just are above it.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I'm gonna go number 4. I will go 300 plus yard drive. Like I said, I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's not that hard. Like it's a drive. It's one shot. I will then go. Just because I've done it, I'll do breaking 80 here to be different.
Nice brag.
Lowest is a 77. No, not bragging here, just stating facts. And then I will go albatross just because like you very rarely ever see those. And then I will go hole in one because I do not have a hole in one.
That'd be
So
amazing. That just sounds awesome. I want to watch one.
I know I've never seen one in the flesh, and I'll be honest, man, I haven't been that close in a really, really long time. So, yeah, maybe one day. One of my biggest fears about golf is getting one by myself. But I will go.
Sometimes I go out by myself and golf 3 or 4 holes or something like that. And it's like that's when it would happen.
Yep, I will go find. I don't care if it's the groundskeeper. I'm going to go find whoever I can first. So yeah, that's a big fear of mine. All right, so we are at the age where obviously we don't play super competitive sports anymore. But which one is, or rank these of the most impressive in our lives at this stage? We're at breaking 80 in golf, scoring 25 points in a basketball league, 3 home runs in slow pitch, or scoring a hat trick in either like a soccer league or a hockey league.
I'll do it the right way this time. 4 is the hat trick because I'm not playing soccer nor hockey at this point. I'll go 3 home runs and slow pitch softballs 3. That's fun, but we've played slow pitch softball.
Yeah, and it's also like there's a lot of leagues with like home run rules, so even like one of that third home run
when you get some nights you just kind of have it. Then I'm gonna go scoring. I'm pretty much just gonna go in order. Scoring 25 in Y League, and then I would just love to break 80. That just would make me so happy. A 79 would be awesome. Scoring 25 in Y League is awesome because you're just like feel like you're back in high school. You're like, man, I can go to the league.
I'm with you there. I'm going to also go with the hat trick at 4 just because I don't play soccer or hockey. But I do think that'd be really impressive. Like I got a buddy who plays in like a men's ice hockey league down in Peoria. I do think that'd be really impressive. I am then going to go I'll go with break 80 in golf at 3. 3 home runs in slow pitch just because I'm more of an average hitter. I don't hit a ton of home runs in slow pitch. And I'll do that at 2 and scoring 25 in a men's league basketball game because I never scored 25 in a competitive basketball game. So that's going to be my number 1 right there. All impressive, don't get me wrong, but that's my order of most impressive if I were to do them. Just like my game high in a high school basketball game was like 10. So
yeah, that's pretty good. Double digits.
Yeah, against a really, really good Aurora Christian team. So first opening, I think it was at the Plano tournament. No big deal.
Remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. And I was very thankful that our all-state honorable mention center that played ahead of me slipped and twisted his ankle getting on the bus. So I got to start that game and had the best game of my life. And then I went back to the bench the next day. So still not salty about it. Let's go ahead and move on, wrap things up as we always do. We've got the TCF top 3 stand-up comedians. I wish we could do the top 50 because I feel like I could sit here and do this forever. But do you want to go first or do you want me to?
I'll go first.
All
Nick
right.
Swartzen. I think he's just hilarious. I want to see him live. He's just so funny.
I like that pick. You've always been a big Nick Swartzen fan. And obviously his stand-up's great. His TV shows, his movies are great. So I like all of those picks.
Terry is one of the funniest characters of all time.
Crazy Terry. Love that pick. My first round pick, I'm gonna go with Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle has been my favorite comedian for a very long time. Still got all the Chappelle Show DVDs. Seen every bit of stand up. This is gonna be an old sentence here. I have the original Dave Chappelle Killing Them Softly on my iPod Classic, probably somewhere in this office, that I illegally downloaded on LimeWire in 2008. So that one goes way back. I used to watch that on my iPod Classic all the time. My number two is one that probably no one would put in their top five, but he is one of my favorite comedians of all time. That's Lewis Black. Well, you know me, I enjoy history and politics and stuff like that, and I learned a lot from him just listening to his stuff that got me more interested in the things I'm very interested in now. So Lewis Black, I've always found him to be absolutely hilarious. So I'm drafting more out of who I like instead of like who's the most popular and funniest, I guess.
My number two is going to be Craig Ferguson. He doesn't do much stand up anymore, but I really remember him when he had his late night show, and even the start of that show is like kind of a stand up bit. He was so funny to me. I think his comedy was just hilarious. It was a little bit, sometimes it was like raunchy, but he liked to cuss a little bit when in his stand up. But I mean, he's so funny.
That's a good pick. A
lot of it comes from also, like I said, his night. He was a late night. It was like the late show.
Yeah. I started listening to Craig Ferguson because you introduced me to him. So that's funny. A good pick.
I don't think he's actually put up a special lately, but he is hilarious. And then I can't forget about our guy, Dave Williamson. We saw him the other night. He's hilarious. Got his Meet Dave rub. Me and Chance are going to try this soon. He's hilarious.
I just used it the other day, actually. I've got my own out in my grilling area. It's fantastic stuff, dude. I put it on.
Remembers us when we go to see him, so that helps a lot too.
Definitely, Dave is the man. It was great seeing him on Friday. If you haven't listened to Dave Williamson,
and if you've never been to the Improv Chicago in Schaumburg, awesome place.
Yeah, go out and catch a show. I mean, it's what, $25 a ticket most of the time.
It's not like in Chicago. It's like what, an hour 25 there, probably.
Yeah, about 30. An hour and a half from us. Yeah, it was awesome, and the good food. I mean, great place to go. We're already talking about going back for another show here soon. So, no, Dave is the man. I'm gonna go my final pick here. Man, I'm so deep into comedy right now. I watched like 3 specials the other day. I'll go with the guy who I think is the funniest right now, and that's Tom Segura. He's got a new special out, Sledgehammer, on Netflix. Just watched it the other night. I am a big Tom Segura fan. What are some honorable mentions? Obviously, Bert Kreischer. We've seen Bert, Bill Burr. Man, I could do this forever. I've seen Ron White. You've seen Bill Engvall, right?
Yeah, he's funny. He's funny. David Spade's hilarious. I think his stand-up's good. M. Devine. I was just listening to a podcast with him, and he was saying he hasn't done stand-up since 2018 is when he recorded his special, and he was going to get back into it in about 2020, and he said, and the pandemic happened, so.
I watched his 2018 special during the pandemic. So yeah, that's a good God.
He filmed in like Nebraska, he said.
Yeah, I was at the Omaha Theater or something like that. I could go so deep here. I mean, like I brought up Bill Engvall. He's the one that like got me into comedy. My parents had his CD when I was like 7. I memorized the whole thing. Theo Von is weird though, because I think he's a better podcaster than he is a stand-up comedian. Like his stand-up's good, but his like podcasting is perfect for it. Yes, yeah, absolutely. There's so many that I've watched. I think I've said this before, but like I keep track of all the movies I watch and all the shows, but I also keep track of all the comedy stand-ups that I've seen, and I think I'm at like 62 here within the last couple of years.
But Steve-O's stand-up is pretty good.
Steve-O's is good. Very,
It's a
it
lot of
is.
he has film tricks that he's already done and stuff like that. It's very cool. I would like to go see one. I
And
think he was in
storytelling.
Schaumburg.
Oh, really?
I think he was at the Improv Chicago a few months ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's more like storytelling, stuff like that. Yeah, so let us know who your guys' favorite stand-ups are. I know we're missing a million here. I go back. I love like old school Chris Rock. Me and my brother used to stay up. Remember when Comedy Central would play the uncensored stuff after midnight? We would stay
Comedy
up and
Central
watch
was
that.
good. Comedy Central stinks now.
Yeah, I completely
That
agree.
and
Those were the
MTV. Both those channels stink.
I remember what really got me into stand-up comedy. There used to be a show on Comedy Central called Comedy Central Presents, and it was like a 30-minute, young up-and-coming comedians had like a 30-minute set that they could do. That was the first time I ever saw Nick Swardson. I remember seeing
Kevin James is very funny.
Yep. Mitch Hedberg's also one of my man. We could sit here and do this forever, but let us know who we forgot. But thank you for joining us. It's been a while, so it feels good to be back. That was episode 162 of Typical Chicago Fans. I promise you we will be getting more and more stuff coming out here soon. I'm working on a food review video we filmed a little bit ago. I got to get that edited, so make sure you go over to YouTube, type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe to the YouTube there for all of our content in video form. We are on Twitter at typical_Chicago, Facebook and Instagram. Give those pages a like wherever you get your podcasts. We are there: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts. Subscribe, rate, review, wherever you get those. Make sure to find me on Twitter at BoomyTCF. I did join was it Threads, the new Twitter? I joined Threads today. I'm also on there at BoomyTCF. Yeah, it's the new Twitter. It's the Facebook version of Twitter. So if you're on there, I'm at BoomyTCF too. Zach, of course, is at ZLiliaTCF. So make sure you find us on all social medias. But thank you for joining us. That was episode 162 of Typical Chicago Fans. We love you all.
Peace.